Thanks for tuning in at My Financial Specialist in LA. Quickly, episode 27 today is going to be fire. Again, I really appreciate that you guys are tuning in on a weekly basis. Actually, my notifications have been going off that a lot of my past episodes, especially office culture, has really been taken off. And then executive conversation part 2 as well has been taken off. So again, my respect to everybody that's taken a few minutes of their time to come and talk to us, to come and conversate with us about these topics that I know for a fact, like I said, I know for a fact your bosses ain't talking to you about this. So again, thanks for tuning in. So quickly, you can catch me on Spotify, you can catch me on Google Music, you can catch me on Anchor FM, you can also catch me on there's a lot of avenues that you can catch me. YouTube is about to be taken off as well too. So again, look, I appreciate you guys tuning in every single week on these broadcasts. It means a lot. It definitely does mean a lot. So today's conversation, it's gonna be a great conversation. And trust me when I say that. Every conversation is great that we have, but there's certain conversations that just stand out. And the reason we're tuning in today with you on this conversation is because of this. This past week was a very good week of business. Look at the hair. It's supposed to be like that. So look, this past week was a great week. I had to post about this because I know for a fact that sometimes some of us, we don't know what to do with a bad partnership, right? And it's a trap that I think many of us get locked into, right? So with that being said, I've been in bad partnerships before, right? I've been in bad companies before. I've been in situations where like it's just not working out, right? Everybody has their own point of view when it comes to business. Everybody was trained differently. Everybody was actually, everybody takes different things into consideration when it comes to ethics, when it comes to morality, when it comes to compliance, right? And as well too, a lot of people take differently as to everybody views a partnership differently. You get what I'm saying? Like everybody. So you have your new entrepreneurs that actually came out of the corporate world, right? And they decided to open up a business, and they are doing pretty well. So you have those entrepreneurs. Then you have the full-bred entrepreneurs, right? The full-bred entrepreneurs that since kids they've been selling shit. They've been doing it since it's in them. Right, these were the students in class that were selling stuff. I mean, they were even selling drugs in class. Okay, like let's not even really get it all that twisted. These were the kids that were selling drugs in class, right? So, what do? Right, we touch on these things because let me tell you something. I know for a fact that these conversations aren't being held, right? Because look. One thing that really fathoms me and completely fathoms me is this. Your bosses, your owners, your brokers, your general agents, right? I don't know why they don't really teach you the ins and outs of how to deal with a partnership. What's a partnership? Point number 1. And again, today's conversation, the sooner they burn you in business, episode 27, the better it is. The sooner they burn you in business, the better it is. And many people are like, what do you mean, Clint? What do you mean? The haters, right? What do you mean? What do you mean that the sooner they burn you in business, the better it is? When they say that you have to pay your dues quick and early and as soon as you can, right? Like in business, like the first thing you got to do is start paying dues. What does that mean? Start making mistakes. Start running as fast as you can, right? And shorten the learning curve as fast as you can. Because if you don't shorten that learning curve, what it'll do is it'll continue to do this. Actually, I'm sorry. It goes from here to here if you shorten it, right? But when it's prolonged, it goes like this. And it continues to go like this, and it takes forever to shorten up that learning curve. So what do I mean by this? I just don't get, point number one, I don't get when brokers and agents and owners of companies, right, they have salespeople. They don't know, they don't sit down and say, hey, between you guys both, I see that you guys are doing joint work. I see that you guys are deciding to work together. Let me tell you something. This might be a good idea on how to navigate like the discrepancies that might pop up, the discrepancies that might show up, the hills, the valleys that are for sure gonna pop up, They're not training you in that. They're not training you in that. You know what? I don't know if it's something where it's like we're scared to touch on it, we're scared to even bring it up. Like they might be, they might think that I don't know what they're thinking. I really don't understand why they don't do that. I really don't get it. Because the first thing you want as the owner of a company is make sure that your salespeople under you, right, that are managing, that are pushing your operation are flowing, right? That they're communicating, that there's camaraderie, right? That the colleagues between all of them, right? That there's a good environment, there's a good atmosphere. Start eliminating, trying to clear the brush. Don't let them blindside themselves, because guess what? The salespeople have one thing in common. They want to eat, they want to feed their families, and they need to pay their bills. And you as an owner, right? You as an owner have a responsibility to start helping your salespeople navigate around that. Not unless you're scared that they might outshine you. And that's the only other reason I think that there's a lot of owners, business owners, that they don't help the salespeople, because there's a lot of talent with people in sales. A lot of talent. It takes talent to sell. You just can't sell. Like, it has to be in you. You have to want it. You can't just come into sales and sell life insurance, or sell investments, or sell real estate, or sell loans, or sell air conditioners. You gotta want it. You gotta want to do sales. And I don't get it. So, to the salespeople, we're talking to y'all today. The hashtag note to new business owners. If you guys follow me on Facebook, you know that I'm always talking to the new business owners. Why? Because your bosses ain't talking to you. Your compliance officers aren't talking to you. Your brokers aren't talking to you. Like your partners who are seasoned, who are willing to take you in, in a mentorship, like relationship, right? So they can use your leads, right, and help you work your leads. Hopefully they're not using you for your leads. They should be training you in this. And you're like, damn, Clint, why aren't they having these conversations with me? It's because sometimes it's not to their best interest. There's a lot of multi-level marketing companies out there. They promise you the world, and what happens? You come in, you start producing. You don't start figuring out the skills of what you need. You don't start figuring out how to stay compliant. They don't train you. They just train you on the raw. Go walk on fire. Go get clients and go get them at all costs. Hashtag at all costs. But they're not training you. Right? If you, number one, 3 points today. The sooner they burn you in business, the better it is. Just because everything's hunky-dory, just because, remember, everything is kosher, doesn't mean everything's fine. Business carries adversity. If business doesn't carry adversity and everything's kosher, everything's like smooth sailing, be very scared of that. Be very scared of that. Be very scared when everything is fine. Because if nothing, like I'm not saying things aren't supposed to go well. No, things need to be going well. Things need to be in the system. But business carries a level of adversity every single day. And if it's not, check your systems, check your process, check your company, check your mentors, check your brokerage that you're with, your firm that you're with, who you're selling loans from, who you're selling life insurance from, you're selling real estate from, whatever you're selling from. Check it quick and check it fast. If you're not learning this quick, something's up. Point number 1. The sooner they burn you in business, the better it is. Why? Because if you're placing your trust in the person that's mentoring you, and many times, those mentors, they take advantage of of 3 things of you: your hunger, your inexperience, and your naiveness. Your hunger, your inexperience, and your naiveness. Why? Because in your early stages of your career, of your position, of your job, guess what? You're hungry. You're hungry to what? To make business, to do business, and you're trusting them. You're trusting them. And what happens? Right? You're like a puppy. You're like a puppy you're trusting everything that they're saying. Right? Do this, do that, do that, do this. And hopefully they're pointing you in the right way. Number 2, right? They take advantage of your inexperience. You want to learn the business. You want to learn how to sell a home. You want to learn how to sell life insurance. You want to learn how to do this and that. So sometimes there's fees, office fees. Sometimes there's contract fees. Sometimes there's relationship fees that you're not aware of. Sometimes you don't understand the design of the contract, right? You're not understanding the design of the contract, right? They take advantage of that. Alert, 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 alert. Just because you can sell doesn't mean you can't, doesn't mean that you should not be able to like break down a contract. It should not mean that. It should never mean that. Number 3, your naiveness. You're hungry. You're hungry to work. You're hungry to do business. You're hungry to but there's things, there's dips, there's holes in business that many times you just don't know about. Right? And sometimes there's things in partnerships that you're just like, oh, I'm gonna just trust him. You don't trust anybody. I'm just saying, I don't care if it's your mom. You don't trust anybody. The ball just doesn't bounce so easily just like that. Number 2, why it's better for you to get burned in business as soon as possible. Because it's better. You lose money. Look, when you start making money in business, there's some endorphins. There's something that happens in your head that you start thinking like, yeah, everything is fine now. Everything's okay. Everything, like the ball's bouncing the way it's supposed to bounce. Right? Okay. The moment you lose money, what happens? There's a shock that happens. A state of shock. Something happens inside of you that you're like, seriously, you're like, damn! What's this? What happened? Why didn't I get paid out? Why didn't I get paid? Why didn't I get paid what I was expecting to get paid? Why is this other firm offering me a better contract than this one? Sometimes you have to analyze. What are you paying? Does it make sense? Do an analysis cost. See what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. Is it gonna cost you more to be on your own? Or is the team here that you're working with working out for you? The cost of doing business. the cost of having to build your own team, find your own assistant, build your own infrastructure. But many times they're taking advantage. And the sooner you lose money in business, the better it is. The sooner you lose money in business, the better it is. The better it is. Somebody was looking for parking, I don't know. The better it is. Why? Because when you lose money in business is when you wake up. Is when you lose money in business is when something happens inside of you and you're like, I can't have this happen again. If you're losing money consistently and constantly, and it's probably not strategic, but maybe that money's not going into R&D, it's not going into marketing, it's not going into into an assistant. That kind of loss of money is okay. But if you're losing money just to lose money, and maybe it's in the contract, maybe it's in the negotiations, maybe it's just like the way your partner is manipulating the situation between y'all, that kind of loss of money is not good, my man or young lady. That kind of loss of money should not be happening at all. And number 3, the sooner you lose money in business, the better it is. You know why? Because it sharpens you up. It sharpens you up. Everybody's scared to lose. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, if it's a generational thing. Because there were a lot of kids in the 80s that they were coming from parents who were extremely, extremely broke. I mean, my mom was an immigrant, right? We were on welfare, right? Food stamps, the whole 9, right? It was like everybody already labeled me and my mom losers. Like they already labeled us. I mean, they already had written us off. They already had written us off. So many times when you're a quote unquote loser in front of society, because obviously you don't come from a family of money, and in the 80s there weren't really too many credit cards. That concept still hadn't come out yet. You ate beans and rice, and you dealt with it. You dealt with the ball the way it bounced. It was what it was. A lot of the younger kids, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Right? It's not your fault. Many times, it's the parents' fault. They were trying to keep up with the Joneses. They were running up credit cards, buying you Jordans, buying you Nintendos, Segas, and all that stuff, just so little Johnny wouldn't throw a tantrum. So little Johnny wouldn't go and kill himself. So little Johnny would be okay. And look, it's not your fault. But you have to be okay with losing. You never win. You never win on the up. You never learn. On the upside of a transaction. You always learn when what? Yeah. When a contract or a negotiation goes the wrong way, right? When a stupid accountant just comes and kills your transaction, you're like, how did I lose that? Right? You didn't build enough trust. You slept on your laurels, right? You over-trusted the process. You over-trusted your partner. And maybe your partner took that transaction and sold it behind you, and you didn't even know about it. Like it happened to me a few times at the investment firm that I was at. And I cried about it for 6 months. I'll tell you this, and for 6 months, I was trying to dig myself out of a hole. How did this happen? How did this happen? I placed all my trust in him. I gave him all my trust. And blah, 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 blah. Guess what? That's the way business rolls. And if you don't start learning that quickly and now, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. Makes no sense. Look, it's okay for you to lose. You just don't want to lose for so long. So quick, the sooner you get burned in business, the better it is. Because it'll sharpen you up quicker, and the curve the learning curve won't be as long. And you can be in your rhythm. You can be in your motions. Question everything, yo. Make sure everything, hashtag, make sure everything counts. Hashtag, clarity counts. Just ask for clarity. That's all you need. Just ask for clarity in business. Thanks for tuning in. Hope I blessed you with this podcast. Again, we're having water cooler conversations, making sure that we're just, you know, look, I really don't care if you agree with what I say or not, right? Hopefully you do like our conversations that we're having. You know, it is what it is. I've been in business. I mean, I've been in business for a very long time. I'm not a millionaire yet, right? But I'm looking to have fun. I'm looking to have fun in this whole thing. And if we can have fun together, we'll be able to win together. I'm just, you know, I think one thing that my mom taught me was this. She taught me, learn from others' mistakes. And if you can't learn from others' mistakes and you commit those same mistakes because you think it might be different for you, you got something coming towards you. It's not gonna happen. Everything has a cost, right? Take no shortcuts. Take no shortcuts. Ask for clarity. And the sooner that partnership that you hope evolves into something big, right? If it doesn't go your way, guess what? There's 4 million other Los Angeles people in LA, in Chicago, in New York, in Australia, New Zealand, in London that you can do business with. So stop crying. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep moving. Peace.